Yo, 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 what's going on? How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's having a wonderful Thursday afternoon, or Thursday morning, I guess, for some of you folks. But welcome to ChanmanV's Pro Corner, where pros come and show us how it's done. I'm your host, ChanmanV, and it's episode 91 with, I got two Zergs on the show today. I got EG.LzGaMeR and Quantic on to discuss some Zerg strategies, both in Wings of Liberty and in Heart of the Swarm, as well as just kind of just talk about just tournaments, the recent tournaments that they've been at, and even BWC, WCS this coming weekend, and kind of get their thoughts on that. So we'll be talking about a lot of stuff as well as strategies, and hopefully we'll get in a replay analysis with one of LZGamer's replays at the end. What's pretty cool strategy he was telling me about, so I'm kind of excited, and hopefully we'll have time for that. On top of that, we're going to be doing 5 Heart of the Swarm beta key giveaways, which I'm going to be giving away to just random viewers that basically subscribe to my YouTube, follow me on Twitter, or like me on Facebook. Just those are the 3 ways to basically enter the drawing. And if you've already done all those things in the past, just tweet me a player that you'd like to see on the show sometime in the near future, and that will also enter you in the drawing. And at the end of the show, I'm just going to pick 5 random folks, and could be from various channels, or just could be just all lumped together. I'll just kind of decide on the fly as how I'm going to do it, but that's how I'm going to pick the winners of the keys, and then I'll be sending you those keys. So hopefully all you folks that have been asking me forever, if I had more keys or not, we'll be able to win some tonight. I've actually got a bunch of them, so I'll be doing these for like the next several weeks. Sometimes it'll be 5, sometimes maybe 10. Any of my subscribers that don't have them, I'll probably just go ahead and give the subscribers the beta keys also. So that's what we're going to be doing. But that's enough for the intro. Let me just hurry up and get these guys on so we can start talking. Oh, I just realized I didn't set the cams yet. Oh well. Hey fellas, what's up?
Hey, how are you?
Good.
What's up?
Again, we're just I'd like to welcome EG's or Evil Genius's LZGaMeR to the show, and Quantic. I'm really happy to be pairing you guys up together because I don't know, it never dawned on me before, but I mean, both of you guys are like 2 of the most creative Zergs, in NA or maybe even just period. So I don't know why I didn't pair you guys up before, because it's like a really good match. Let's see. I'm trying to set some of these screens right now. Sorry guys, that's one thing I forgot to do pre-show here. But so how you guys been? Like, what you guys been up to recently?
Not too much. I've been just playing lots of Heart of the Swarm every day, and that's kind of been my life as of late.
Cool. So no Wings of Liberty at all?
No, after this past MLG Dallas, I kind of hung up the whole Wings of Liberty gloves and moved on to what's going to be the future, right? Starting next year.
Okay, just to kind of get a head start on everybody, and that's what.
Kind of, yeah. Just get used to the new units and just see as the game, evolves, all the different strategies and gameplay that comes out.
Right. Okay, that'll be awesome. Obviously we have a segment that's Heart of the Swarm in the show, so we'll definitely be picking your brain all about the new units and everything. But Devin, I saw you this weekend at Lone Star.
Yeah, so for me, the last 2 weeks, I was at ESWC in Paris, and then I went over to Austin for the Lone Star Clash 2. So I've been having those 2 tournaments, practicing for those, and now that those are over, I'm not really sure whether I want to continue practicing Wings of Liberty for now, or switch over to Heart of the Swarm, maybe a little hybrid of both. Mm-hmm. I think there's still one more MLG before Heart of the Swarm comes out. So
is there one in February? There's one that early? I
think so.
Wow. Okay. Like not an arena, right? Just an actual championship.
Just a normal one. Yeah.
Okay, great. So, you mentioned ESWC. Like, I heard some stories about ESWC, so I kind of wanted to ask you about it.
Yeah.
So tell me about that tournament, because I think I heard that you said you'd never go back to that tournament. So.
I'd go back just because it's like a pretty high chance that you would you would actually place in the top 3. Mm-hmm. Just because there isn't that many really, really good players. It's just, or at least it isn't as hard as an MLG. But in terms of player treatment, it was probably the worst I've ever been to. like as for the American qualifier, I got like a contact for this person I was supposed to call if I needed any help. I never actually met the guy, and I never got like any information on how to use international numbers because my phone obviously doesn't work in Paris, so I'd have to use like a payphone and like figure all that stuff out.
Right.
And I just basically had like a piece of paper telling me where to go to the hotel, and then once there, I was like, okay, done. I don't want to like get lost. And even at the venue, it was like really bad. They didn't really let you warm up. They were really like picky about when you play. Like if you finish your game and you ask to use a bathroom break, they're like, no, you have to finish this match. You weren't allowed in like the player area to practice at all, even though there were like tons of open computers. So like I was there for like an entire week, and I maybe played like 8 games, which were all like matches. So
wow. Okay.
And then everything else, like just the venue, it was in Paris Games Week. So a lot of the people that were watching SWC didn't even actually understand esports. They were just there for the Paris Games Week, which is a much bigger event. And they just kind of sat down there just because there are chairs. So like even the crowd wasn't enthusiastic. Like there was really, unless you were like interested in other games, which honestly I'm not. I just like to play StarCraft. There really wasn't much to do at the venue. So I don't know. It was.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I just didn't really like my time there and like how they treated the players. It was.
Yeah, I think that was the general sentiment. I mean, a lot of the Koreans complained about it too. Just like, all those things that you said, not being able to warm up, not being, having just to play like on really short notice and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that's too bad.
Like,
because
I never got like even a player handbook. I literally had to go each day and ask them when my next match was.
Right.
And, yeah, it was.
That sounds awful.
That's what I heard, man. I heard it wasn't great. That's kind of why I wanted to hear it from kind of like the horse's mouth, given that you went to it. But that's too bad because, the actual prize money was decent there, right?
Oh yeah.
And, I mean, it's not a small tournament, but they just didn't make a big deal out of it, which was too bad.
And then the worst part was it's at the same time as MLG Dallas, which I'm in Texas. So I'm just like, after going there and like being treated like that, I'm just like I could be in Dallas with most of my like people that I know in my own state,
Yeah, your own state. Yeah, exactly. Your own city, actually.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like I missed out on that for this kind of thing.
Yeah, no. I hear you. Well, hopefully it'll be better next time around, or hopefully they'll improve, or got some feedback from everybody. But Lone Star was fun, man. Did you have a good time at Lone Star?
Oh yeah, Lone Star was excellent. The complete opposite in terms of player treatment.
Exactly.
Yeah, they invite like 16 players and have like better games than MLG just because they treat players so well. They're like so carefree. I just think
I agree. I mean, those students, like I said, the Rosen brothers, the students in CSN, they do a great job of like being hospitable to all of them. Whether it's like driving them all around, chauffeuring them all around to get food, or just making sure they're okay. And I was. Again, it was great meeting you there, and I had the pleasure of just hanging out with you guys for most of the weekend. So it was really cool in that regard. So love Austin too. So I can never complain about Austin. You got to go there sometime, Jake.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I've been there before, just not for a tournament.
Yeah, it's good town. Definitely a good town. I didn't get to eat Franklin's barbecue though. I'm upset about that because they're closed on Monday, so I got screwed. But all right, so that was kind of like the previous tournaments. So what do you guys think about BWC and WCS? Have you gotten a chance to look at the pools and any predictions?
I have looked at the pools and everything. It's going to be a really good tournament. Very few Terrans. I wish it was more. Yeah. They had more Terrans in the tournament. But I understand the road to even qualify for the BWC is insane in general, right?
Yeah, it was definitely. And a lot of the Koreans just didn't participate or just dropped out, right? So those are a lot of the Terrans right there. So
that's true.
So there's only 4 Terrans. It's pretty crazy. I mean, there's one group that's all Zerg. That's just...
Actually, I think there's 2 groups that are all Zerg.
Are there 2?
I was thinking.
I'm looking at the groups right now. It's just Group B. But.
Yeah, there's a bunch that have 3. There are like 2 that have 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
But oh man, poor Suppy. It's like Suppy, Vortex. Who is it?
Vibe, Calm.
Oh god, Vibe and Calm. Oh man, it's gonna be crazy. And then Greg got stuck in the worst Worst group ever.
Yeah, right after I saw
Blizzarded.
Greg's group, I told him, like,
Oh
you're dead.
man. Oh my god, that's tough.
uh,
Crazy.
it's
So who do you think
pretty.
is gonna win? Like, I guess who do you think is gonna win, and which foreigner do you think will finish best?
No, it's going to be a State versus Illusion final.
No, no bias there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think Stefano has a good chance. He's been
man.
playing really well lately
Man.
as far as foreigner goes.
Yeah.
I also think like Scarlet and Nurcio also have a chance because
Yeah.
they're both really impressive foreigners. And then I would say probably most likely would be Rain from
Obvious
SKT1.
choice. Yeah.
He's quite good. And he's Protoss, so that always helps too.
What do you mean? Like, all I heard all weekend long was Naniwa Todd just complaining how basically Imba Zerg is right
Those
now.
two are hilarious when they're talking.
That's all they talked about.
Well,
Just
like
take
I
that.
heard them watching a match, and they looked at the pathogen
God.
pathogen plan upgrades, and they were like, "Oh, Zerg's about to win in 30 seconds, 29 seconds, 28 seconds."
Oh god, they're awesome. But yeah, I mean, I think Rain is like I think a lot of people are picking Rain, right? What do you think, Devin or Quantic Hawk?
I'd say Rain definitely has the best chance, given like how well he's playing right now, and he just practices so much that his all-ins are way more refined, and he's just better with micro than most people. I don't really see him losing any like Protoss versus Terrans, and or PvP especially. I don't think he's really going to lose. So I think he'll probably win his group, considering he'll probably crush Mafia, and then after that, as long as he doesn't run into like too many Zergs, or like if he doesn't do something weird against a Zerg and lose, he probably should take this.
I don't think he has much chance of like missing the Zergs in this tournament. Like I'm just looking at
You
it.
can't. And I mean, that's what I actually don't think Rain will win. Believe it or not. I mean, I actually I picked Rain to win LG, but yeah, because there's so many Zergs, I just feel like he'll drop one somewhere
Yeah.
along the way. And there's a lot of good, like there's a lot of players that are good against Protoss, like even Vortex and like you said, I mean Nurture and Scarlet are pretty good. They're not super great necessarily against those really refined mortal pushes. But Stefano is, obviously, so there's a lot of Zergs that are really good against... I mean, late game, they're great, so it's just all about those timings, whether they can hold them or not. But, yeah, Stefano looks sick this weekend, man. It was... I mean, he didn't play many Protoss, so it's kind of hard to say, but, man, against Terran, he was making that Ultra Lingbane Infestor work, and you can't make it work unless you have great engagements, right? So, God, it's crazy. But I'm hoping for Stefano or... I'm hoping for Scarlet too. I've always been a huge Scarlet fan, so hopefully she'll break out something awesome there. But unfortunately, they have to play each other, Nurcio and Scarlet, in their groups. So
Yeah,
that
it's
kinda
actually going to be
sucks.
ridiculously hard for Scarlet to even get out of her group.
Yeah.
Just like looking at it, it's pretty tough.
I'm hoping that
stacked against
Nurcio
her.
and Scarlet get out. Yeah, but they got some good players in there, so it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, so it should be exciting. China, well, yeah, China obviously.
If you don't get robbed or something,
Yeah,
it's great.
I mean, thankfully, well, if those of you didn't hear, I mean, Mr. Bitter kind of had a bad incident, I guess last night in Shanghai. So hopefully he's doing better, and I mean, heard he's safe, so that's the most important thing. So hopefully, he'll be not too shaken up and able to cast some this weekend. But Shanghai, other than that, guys, I promise, is a really nice city. So if you guys are there, go check out the sites because there are some awesome tourist sites there that are worth seeing, as well as obviously this awesome event of Blizzards. So hopefully it does well. How do you think the viewership's going to be? Like, what do you guys think? You think it's going to be the biggest event of the year?
I think so. Like, I would say, I think Blizzard's going to make it the biggest event of the year. It's kind of been building up for this big, moment where it's like the finals. So, and there are actually Terrans in this tournament. Unlike, I think, what is it, the IEM that has like no Terrans. There's not a Terran qualified. It's like 18 Zergs and 6 Protoss or something.
No, there was actually a Terran or two, right? I didn't Lucifer.
No, there's no
Lucifer
Terrans.
didn't qualify
in
for
the-
that. Oh shit!
I know I
Really?
saw the bracket.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty bad. If no turns, I mean, you only have like a handful that can. It's. I mean, Lucifron, Tasia,
Yeah, that's true.
Who else? I mean, that's not Korean. That's not MVP or. So
Yeah,
it's
most of the top
crazy.
Terrans are Korean for sure. Actually,
Yeah,
there's a
and
lot of
they
like even on the Korean server, it's like majority Terran. I find.
really okay.
Yeah,
See,
it's a
that's
lot
that's
of
so
Terrans.
funny that that is that way because obviously in NA it's heavily favoring
It's
Zerg and Protoss and
yeah.
yeah, pretty crazy.
All it is ZVZ actually. Like
Oh yeah.
I know that's why
every
it
day I
sucks.
decide to turn my stream on in ladder or practice and something, and it's all ZVZ. Maybe that's the reason I'm having so much fun in HoTs is because people are actually playing the other two races in the game.
Yeah, that's fair. Totally. So Devin, what do you think? You think it's gonna be biggest event of the year?
I think in terms of international audience, it'll probably get the best viewership that the tournament has ever gotten. In terms of like the American audience, it might be a bit lower than let's say like an MLG, but definitely like anywhere else in the world, you're going to get much higher numbers, just because they have players from all around the world. Like, I mean, what person from Brazil doesn't want to watch Levin play, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
That's true.
when you get players from all around the world, you're going to get viewers from all around the world.
Yeah, I mean, and I think, if Grubby does well, I mean, I think it might actually end up,
Oh yeah.
Actually end up resulting in a ton of views, at least from the Chinese folks.
Oh yeah,
So,
dude. If Grubby like wins this thing, I think like it would get 1 billion views just from China. Everyone
man.
would tune in.
Exactly. I think it would be just crazy. That guy's like a superstar, like in China.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah.
If he just wins a map, the crowd's gonna go wild for sure.
Oh,
Like,
if he gets
doesn't
out
have
of
to win the
I
whole
mean, if
thing.
he
Just,
gets
like,
out of
has
his
to win a game.
If he gets out of his group, oh my god! Like seriously, hell's gonna break loose, man. But yeah, I think it's gonna be the biggest. I think it's gonna be the biggest event of the year too. Just from a view standpoint, I think there's gonna be great numbers. I mean, a lot of people are anticipating it to be similar to like a DreamHack or something, but I'm like, there's no way. I mean, there's like a ton of people that are gonna watch in China that didn't watch DreamHack and those type of events. So there's
Definitely.
gonna be way more than that, and it's gonna be cool. Do you? I mean, the intention was, I think, to kind of crown a world champion. Do you think it's going to be? I guess. Do you think the competition or the participants would actually validate that?
No,
Yeah.
I mean, if
I mean,
the
why not?
actual. Sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, if the actual goal was to crown a world champion, we would just make every single qualifier, or how many players there are. I'd assume like there's 32 just by looking.
Yeah.
We would just have like 32 global qualifiers if we really wanted to like have the best player in the world. And of course, like Koreans would probably win like 30 of those spots. So it isn't really fair. We only gave them, let's see, 5 spots in which they probably have 30 of the top 32 best players. So, I mean, it's cool to see other players, other players from around the world, and just see how good they are and see that they can compete with them. But in terms of like, if we were actually looking at the best player, this tournament certainly doesn't really do that. But it's still a cool concept.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the one thing that stands out the most is that Life's not even here, right? And Life's won the last 2 major tournaments. So, cool. Yeah, I'm excited to see. I mean, obviously the winner's going to be super happy and going to get a lot of attention. So hopefully it's a foreigner. Hopefully, I'm not biased or anything, but
Considering there's only 5 Koreans, there is a chance that all the Koreans hit each other and get eliminated.
is
But
there? I mean, I don't think
I
there's
don't-
that many that I don't think they're in the same pools, right? I mean, gosh, that'd be crazy.
Some
if
of them
they
are,
were.
like Roro and Hero are in the same pool,
Oh, that's true.
and then Hero and Curious is in the same pool. So
Oh, the other hero. Right.
Oh,
right.
Guys, I actually have a prediction.
Okay.
I think Protoss is going to win this tournament. Look at the Koreans.
Well, I know the Koreans are all.
Every single one of them are Protoss. I
No, there's
predict
2 Zergs.
Protoss will
No,
There's 2 Zergs. Come on.
What? Really? No. Oh, Roro.
What do you
okay.
mean? Curious. And Roro.
Curious and Roro.
Curious and
there's
Roro is
Curious.
Roro's gonna have a hard
6.
time getting out of his group though. Like
It's
Stefano, Hero, Idra,
Yeah.
Roro.
It's gonna be, but yeah. Gosh. I mean, it's gonna be pretty sick.
CVC is like flipping coins sometimes. Like who gets the best first fungal growth of the engagement? Like,
But honestly, that's
the
a
decider.
good. That's a good sign. I mean, that's a good chance for Roro because it is like I don't think Stefano ZVZ is like his strongest. So I mean, he's really good. He's solid, very very solid, but it's not his best. So who knows? You know, who knows what happens there? It would be disappointing if he didn't get out of this group, man. But
it could happen too. Like that's the thing. It's like so dangerous.
Yeah.
Definitely happen.
Oh my god, what would happen if Idra got out of this group? Oh my god, hell would break loose.
It would be.
Definitely.
He's been practicing. We'll see.
Yeah. So I had David Ting on Tuesday on Time in the Ladder. Did y'all see that by chance? Or hear about it on Reddit or anything?
Mm-mm.
Well, he announced that IPL is going to be taking over the IGN homepage for 4 days during it, which is pretty sick. Are you guys going to be at IPL? I forget.
No, I'm not.
Okay, neither are you guys. Oh, never mind then. Great segment, Chris. Great segment. But yeah, anyways, I thought that was freaking amazing news too. Just given
That is pretty
that's
cool.
a
That'll bring a
lot of
lot of new
news.
attention.
Yeah, exactly.
To the whole like competitive scene, you know.
Mhm. Yeah.
IGN gets tons of traffic, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think David mentioned that there would be close or roughly, maybe plus or minus, whatever, like 1 million uniques each day.
Wow.
So that's pretty impressive. And I think he said StarCraft would get. He didn't say equal love as League of Legends, but definitely plenty of coverage, on the front. So that's going to be awesome. I can't
that's
wait
going
to
to
see
be
that.
pretty sweet.
Yeah. Okay. So what are we going to segment to next? Okay, Heart of the Swarm. So Blizzard announced that Heart of the Swarm is going to be launched on March 12th. Right? Is it 12th? Yeah, it's not 13th. Right? It's 12th. So that actually surprised me as how early that was. I did not expect it to be the first half of the year. Yeah, I mean, what are your reactions to the announcement date?
I think that's something like what I was expecting. I was thinking like April actually, so March kind of was like, oh, it's a little bit sooner than what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't that shocked at all, and I'm pretty thrilled about it because I already decided, that I should probably switch because there's, the only other big tournaments besides like IPL and just the ones that's already like you had to qualify for, like the WCS and stuff coming up, is going to be kind of leaning more towards Heart of the Swarm as time goes on and it gets closer. Even there's going to be like beta tournaments, I'm sure, as online and stuff. So I'm pretty happy about how soon they're getting it out, and I think it'll be ready by then. Blizzard's doing a lot to really step up their game.
So what do you think, Devin?
I just think I need to start practicing it more. I really did not think it would happen that fast. Whether it will, I think they'll definitely hit the date they set for themselves. Whether it'll necessarily be ready at that moment, it might not. They might just say like, let's release it and then just patch it later. They might do something like that.
Yeah,
it's kind of what they always done, though, right?
Well, yeah.
Is it better to release it and even if it requires just like a big patch like that?
For expansions, I believe that the game should really be done because you're adding on to a game that's already done, and you're supposed to be like fixing a lot of problems. So if the expansion itself has problems with it, it's kind of like, well, why don't I just play the original? I'd like a complete expansion when it's released.
I see how it could be that way, right? But I also see like if they keep delaying it, more people are going to keep especially the competitive level players are going to keep playing Wings of Liberty, and they're never going to really get all the strategies and the balance issues out with low master level players playing it as like their top tier players, right? So if they put a release date and they're like, okay, it's coming out here, it's going to make more top level players the incentive. Okay, I better go practice it so that and then all these new things will come out, and then they're really going to be able to figure out what they need to fix and what they don't.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. I mean, it's always, you kind of get into this like churning mode whenever you're just talking about changing and never just releasing the thing. Sometimes it's just better just to release the thing and then start fixing stuff. But at least getting it out, it kind of forces you, kind of puts the onus on you to definitely just start changing it. And it's out in live now, so just improve the game just at a quicker pace, I think. So that's again, like, it surprised me. I thought for sure it'd be like this summer or something, just given given that they're changing the units so much. I just figured that it would stabilize just a little bit more. But hey, I agree. I think they're doing a lot of cool things. A lot of the stuff that doesn't have to do with the balance, I feel like have been really good lately. A lot of the stuff that they've been, a lot of features that they've added. I think a lot of folks have been asking for it for a while. So it's great to see a lot of those things. So let's talk about some specifics of Heart of the Swarm. Jake, I know you've been playing a lot more, and Devin, you haven't played much. So let's ask you, Jake, with Zerg, thinking that you play Zerg. And actually, you've played Terran before, so any
I know. I
hints
understand
on
the game as a whole. Like, I know all the matchups pretty much.
So
pretty
any kind of desire to change races?
No, definitely not. Like, I probably should have never started as Terran in the beginning of StarCraft 2 because I had such a long history at Zerg and Brood War. Like, it just feels so much more natural to play the mechanics of Zerg, the way it works. But so definitely not switching races, even though the Terran looks really fun and they have a lot of cool stuff at their disposal now, especially with like the new Widow mines that you rarely ever actually even see because people just don't know how to use them yet.
Oh man, well, I think we're gonna be seeing a lot of those in the future.
Oh, we will. Don't worry. Once
burrowed tanks,
they're
man.
gonna get nerfed. They have to. Like
exactly.
160 damage, 60 splash, or 40 splash, or something.
Yeah, I wanna point something out first before we get started in this discussion. Jake. Okay, so Jake, used to play Terran, right, in Wings of Liberty, like long time ago, 2 years ago or whatever. And I have to say that Jake was the first person I heard that was always. Or was saying that Zergs should use infestors. Like for the longest time, like 2 years ago, I remember when everybody was going Lingbane Muta, this is the guy that was like on Bitter's show or wherever it was saying infestors. I don't know why Rogues don't use infestors. They're freaking awesome.
Yep.
And
I remember that exact thing. And I'm sure you could probably pull that video up too because it was one of Bitter's week with the pros and he had me and Idra on. And Idra would not go infestors, and I was just like it would be so much better if you just stopped making mutas and you made infestors instead, like Ultra Lingbane infestor. And
it was even before that though, Jake, wasn't it? Like you had one session where it was just you and Bitter.
Yeah, I did, and then I came on like a month later and and he had like both of us on it, which was like spar against each other. But yeah,
so. Yeah, Mr. Oracle over here. I mean, he's so that's why I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with for Heart of the Swarm this early. But okay, so getting back to the specifics, I've definitely played a little bit of. I haven't played it too recently that much. So, but talk to us about how you think the Zerg metagame dynamics is changed by the Swarm host and I guess the Viper.
Okay, well, the Swarm host. Let's start off with that. The Swarm host is like. Versus Terran, it's a stall tactic a lot of the time because you're not really going to kill a whole lot with them, right? They take up a lot of supply. They cost a lot of minerals, not so much gas. I mean, only 100 gas, so that's not too bad.
Yeah, right.
Right? They're not like an infestor or something, so you can get a decent amount of them up, and they can stall for a really long time and force your opponent to force your Terran opponent to make a lot of tanks, for example, to really be able to clear that effectively without taking any damage. So you can constantly apply pressure while stalling, and so it allows you to take maybe an extra base, a greedier expansion, or tech faster to hive even, because the infestation pit is also what you need to build the Swarm host, right? So you already have like the key there to go straight into like Broodlords or something. So I actually been doing that a lot, and it's actually worked okay lately.
So we're talking about just a few Swarm hosts?
No, you need more than a few. Probably like 6 or 7.
Okay, wow. Okay.
So it is a decent number, but you're throwing it's like every time they spawn, it's like 14, right?
Yeah.
14 or so locusts you're sending at your opponent.
Yep.
So it's not bad. And then Swarm host in ZVZ is actually like kind of the silliest unit, in my opinion, because if you don't go muta, like mass muta, Swarm host kills everything. So like normal metagame of Wings of Liberty is like, okay, if I go muta and my opponent's going infestor, I make like 4 to 8 muta, and then I'll switch into infestor or something myself, right?
Right.
Well, in Heart of the Swarm, you actually make 4 to 8 muta, and then you switch into Swarm host, and they never get out of their base. Like, if they make infestor, they lose the game every time. Like, there's no way to hold it unless you're doing some kind of like, you're nidicing your opponent's base or something while this is going on, maybe. Because Swarm hosts contain you, and they just non-stop kill. Like, infestors have to
wow.
burn energy to kill units that just are going to keep respawning every few seconds, right?
Right.
Even if they have roaches, it's like they're constantly losing roaches, and you're just rallying outside their base more swarm hosts while making drones. So it's actually a pretty silly situation. So it's almost like in Heart of the Swarm, it's actually reverting back to Brood War, where it's like we're nonstop have muta battles, and we might add like an infestor or two for trying to fungal each other's mutas or something, right? Like that's almost like how it's turning back to, where it's going to be like Ling Bane into muta every game, because the way Swarm hosts are now, it's way too strong versus the Ling, the Bane, the Roach that Zerg has at their disposal.
I mean, the downtime between the spawns for the swarm host, it's pretty long, right? So it's not.
The thing is, you actually don't burrow them all at the same time versus Zerg. So you would burrow like 3, then you'd burrow 4, like 2 seconds later, and then you'd burrow 4 more. So it's actually a never-ending cycle of units that travels to your opponent's base, like literally never-ending.
That's so smart. Yeah. Oh man, you could just like line them up. Oh man, that'd be crazy. Yeah, seriously, just like 2x2s just walk into the base. Yeah. Okay, I see. Yeah, that needs to be changed, I feel like, then, if it's just going to be...
I don't know. Well, it's like if you change it, then the swarm host becomes worthless versus the other races.
Yeah.
Because versus Protoss, it's like it can be good, but I actually haven't been able to experiment much with it because, as you know, a swarm host can't hit air, and every Protoss, because they have like 10 new air units at their disposal, are playing with it, right? So
yeah.
I actually don't really know, because every time I go swarm host, I'm like blind counter, like, oh, there's the, what are they called? Like the 15 ranged capital ship. The Tempest.
Yeah, I've lost many of swarm hosts to Tempest. Just with an observer.
So usually making swarm host currently versus Protoss just gets you the loss screen because everyone else is playing around with air units as Protoss. So I don't really have that much experience with them.
Yeah, I mean, even like I even played around with it a little bit, even when they're going like gateway units or blink stalkers, and they're just so mobile that they just, they basically outrun. What ends up happening is they outrun the actual the broodlings or whatever, and then they just kind of run in a circle, and then they catch the swarm hosts when they're just naked, while the broodlings are chasing them. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic. At least that one is, but not the Tempest. Just bombing away from afar. That's not very fun.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah. Okay. So how about the Viper?
All right, the Viper is probably the strongest unit right now in the Zerg arsenal. You only need like 2 or 3 of them to actually change an entire battle around. Like versus Terran, if they're playing mech, they're they siege and they're very immobile after that, right? So now Terrans have to like literally spread all their tanks out in like balls of like 1 or 2 tops, right? So it's just like 2 tanks at a time, because anytime they're clumped, then the blinding cloud absolutely destroys them. Like the tanks aren't doing anything, and every time they shoot, because they only have the range of 1 or whatever, they're also like damaging the other tanks that are next to them, right? So they're really just like pretty bad at that situation.
Yep.
Also, the thing about blinding cloud is that it also affects air, affects like ground units that are attacking air. So if you make like Broodlord army, if you drop a blinding cloud on Thors, they actually can't shoot the Broodlords. So it's like it's mind-blowing. Like they're trying to walk underneath the Broodlords to attack them.
Right.
And it's pretty cheap spell. I think it's 100. So each Viper can actually cast that twice. And then you also have the Abduct spell, which is great, but it's very situational, I would say, versus Terran. So if like, let's say the Terran, you had an expansion, and the Terran had a huge army of tanks and stuff behind it, but he sends 1 Thor ahead just to snipe the hatchery. But if you engage, your whole army is going to be hit by those tanks. Well, you can just grab the Thor and pull it to your army or something, right? Or drop ships trying to drop, and you pull it back into your in range of fungal or something. So there is lots of situations where it's like really good and really strong, but it's not something you just want to go into battle and be like, oh, I'm just going to pull all the units, each individual tank towards your army, because I think Blinding Cloud would just be better in almost every regard in that situation.
I see. Yeah. So my experience, when I've been playing, whether it's against Protoss or Terran, is, when it comes to the new units, I just don't know when to build them. You know what I mean? It's like, I still feel like we need infestors. I still feel like we need, hive units in the end. So for me, it's kind of like, okay, where do I put this, like in the grand scheme of, the timeline, right? So where do you think that swarm hosts fall? I mean, it sounds like swarm hosts are just a delay tactic, like kind of in mid game, right? Whether you're trying to rush hive or that sort of scenario. That's what it kind of sounds like.
Yeah.
But Vipers, like when do you build Vipers versus Infestors and vice versa?
Well, I mean, Vipers you can't even build till Hive, so you're looking at it's a late game unit anyways.
Oh, that's true. Jeez,
there's no early scenario you can even build them. I wish it was actually you could build them sooner. Maybe even make the spells weaker, but you could build them. You could get them earlier or something. I think that would be really fun to give you a choice between Infestor or Viper. But right now it's like you don't even add Vipers until you're already at like you're going for like a super army or something of that nature.
I see. Okay, so it's just purely late game.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, I have been experimenting with, like, rushing them, like rushing a hive, like, let's just say 3-base hive, like, really fast versus Protoss. I've actually been doing a lot, and Roach Hydra with Vipers are actually amazing versus Protoss. Like, you just keep grabbing the Colossus, pulling them too, and they instant die. And with the super fast hive, you also can get the speed upgrade for the Hydras. Which makes your attack not an all-in, which is what it currently is if you ever make Hydras in Wings of Liberty, because they can't escape from anything. So I actually really enjoy that kind of playstyle, to where it's like, wow, I actually have another unit in this game, which is the Hydralisk, that you just don't ever see in Wings of Liberty, right?
Well, you see it sometimes. I mean, Devin, you hate Hydras. What am I talking about?
Oh, yeah.
He hates Hydras.
Yeah. If you want to lose the game in Wings of Liberty, you make Hydras. But if you make Hydras in or the Swarm, it's actually not bad, because they actually get stronger as the game goes on, kind of, because you can add units that make them that much better, right? Also, Blinding Cloud's really strong versus Protoss too. If they have a lot of Stalkers or anything, like if they blink in, you could blind them, and it's like they don't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, Blinding Cloud they even made bigger recently.
Yeah, they buffed it, so I'm just like, yeah, Blizzard knows what they're doing. Yeah.
Oh my god.
We don't win enough games already. Like, let's do this.
Exactly. And then, so the Ultra Charge. So I heard the Ultra Charge is like a skill shot, like in League or something. Is that true? Like, I haven't actually used it.
Kinda. It's like, like if you pull out Fungal, it shows you like a radius, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's the same that Burrow Charge works. So it's you can see, I think it's C, and then it shows you like a little area, and then you click where you want to go. But I think it actually could be. I've only used it like, let's say 4 games probably, but I think it could be really cool. Like if you you could actually tell your ultras all to like go and burrow at different like places and like all pop up and maybe even surround an army or something if you did it well enough or something, right?
Oh wow!
Because it shows like different areas, and when they pop up, they actually do knock up the unit. So it's kind of like a mini stun or something.
Yeah.
So it kind of gives me like this Warcraft 3 feel or something.
Yeah. No, definitely feels like a MOBA support unit or something.
Yeah, it could be that too.
What is the? I'm trying to figure out what the purpose was. I mean, do you think it's just a workaround for just the bad AI for the ultras, or?
Dustin Browder said something about, or maybe it was David Kim said that they're trying to give Zergs a new way to actually finish a game. Like they said that Zerg was having trouble when they had like an advantage just to like go and attack in. I mean, sure, that was before like Infestor Broodlord started like winning every single game. But that was their main purpose behind it, was like they're ahead in the mid game, but you can't necessarily like kill Terran with like Muta Baneling Ling very well. Or at least that's what they said. I don't really agree very much with that. But I don't know. Well, one thing with the Swarm host though that I think definitely can change is at least an issue with how they made it. I think they're for the most part trying to add zoning to the game for Heart of the Swarm. With stuff like Widow Mines and Swarm Host and I suppose like Mothership Core would work for Protoss. But Swarm Host really isn't designed well for that. I mean, it's more like the damage is too high and the rate of spawn for the broodlings or locusts are way too low. Like if they just make it so that the locusts don't deal much damage, but they spawn very, very quickly and die off really quickly, it could be really good for like a defensive unit up a ramp. Like it would be really hard to attack like let's say 2 of them on a ramp, and then you could just take that expansion. It'd be really nice for zoning, and it wouldn't like break ZVZ in any way. I just feel like having the Locust more of like a meat shield unit that just spawns tons of like fodder rather than actually like.
So you're talking like spawning broodling type stuff? Like they're super weak like a broodling?
Yeah, just spawning it very, very quickly though, like at very high rates. So it's more like if you have it in the ground, engaging next to a swarm host is really bad, just because it's going to mess with the AI, and they're going to be attacking a lot of the broodlings instead of the actual arming that's dealing DPS, instead of them like spawning locusts that just destroy everything.
It's just additional arm. I mean, basically, those locusts are creating viable army, right?
They did get nerfed though over time, because now their range is much lower. So it's actually like if Protoss has 3 Colossus, you actually don't even touch anything. Like the Colossus melt them before they even get to the target or something. So they're pretty weak to splash damage as they are. But I do kind of like what you're saying.
They're weaker, and I think they even increased the time, right, between the spawns.
Yeah,
at one
I
point.
think so.
Yeah.
Also, I think I'm not sure, but it feels like, because I remember playing like right as the beta came out, and I feel like the swarm host distance it could travel, or the locust travel, is shorter now than what it used to be. And I don't know if that ever got changed, or I haven't read like patch notes really.
Yeah, I mean, I think it has to do with the. Oh, I know what you mean. The lights. So the lifespan.
Right, the lifespan.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I mean, if anything, it should be longer, right? If it's longer between spawns, but yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure about that. So okay, so that's kind of how I guess the Zerg units have kind of, I guess the changes have kind of played out with the Zerg units. And we could talk about the maps. I'm not going to bother talking about the maps. The maps suck. I think we can all agree that the maps just aren't very good.
I mean,
I don't know what you're talking about. I never lose on the maps, and then I get queued up on Cloud Kingdom, and I like lose the game, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on?
Are you serious?
Yeah, for some reason I'm really good on the current map set, so I'm liking it.
Really? God, I mean, I feel like the thirds are just so far, man, and hard to hold.
Also, I like the rocks that you can break, so your opponent can't take a third. It's like,
oh
it's
yeah,
silly.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, this experimenting with the rock has been kind of.
I think we can all applaud the Blizzard for doing a couple things with Heart of the Swarm. Especially Hawk can appreciate this. We can lay creep tumors on ramps now.
Yes. and
there's
building
an undestructible rock at the bottom of our ramps. So.
Yep.
Awesome.
That is good. I mean, I definitely like the whole ramp thing for sure, but I feel like the current way of doing it is superior though with the supply depot, because I mean there are definitely some positions on maps, right, where say like a Terran likes to put a bunker exactly where that little building might be.
You can kill it. It doesn't have.
Oh, you can't kill it?
Yeah, you can kill it. It doesn't have that much.
Oh, I thought it was permanent.
You
I didn't
also get experience for it, and I'm pretty sure 75 experience for killing that. So
hells yeah, dude.
You can level up while killing rocks.
Sometimes that's what you need for that portrait.
Warcraft 3 style, man. You're just killing stuff that actually can't attack you back and leveling up.
That's true. That's awesome. Yeah, but tumors on ramps are awesome. I mean, I don't know why that didn't happen before, but it's really, really nice. Nothing's worse than when you just barely spaced it wrong. You barely spaced your creep tumor wrong, and then you gotta put one like just two ticks in front of it so that you can get creeped at the bottom of the ramp. That's so annoying, man.
Pretty awful.
I can kind of see some like even defensive implementation of that. Just like, I don't know, if you have like an extra creep tumor, you can like help block off your ramp to just like putting it to grow there. I mean,
I've seen people do that in the past in Wings of Liberty. God, who did I see do that before? I'd almost say like Destiny
twice out of
did
like
it
2
before.
years. So
Really? Yeah.
not often.
No, it's not
depending
often.
on like how many creep tumors it takes. Maybe in like ZVZ you can block it off with one queen and then just like make a tumor building, maybe to block off the entire ramp.
Yeah, instead of a lane. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I'm sure. Again, this is kind of the exciting part of the game too, right? Right when there's no set strategies yet, and there's a lot of creativity and and lots of theory crafting. That's the best. That's the best.
It is. You also learn that a lot of stuff in that worked in Wings of Liberty actually won't work in Heart of the Swarm anymore because of some of like the small things, the small units that they introduced, like the Protoss. I don't know, the mini mama ship, whatever that's called. I can't even think of the name.
The mothership core.
The mothership core. Okay,
the
whatever.
Mini mama ship.
Yeah. Anyways, so we can power up a Nexus for like a minute or something and make it a 20 range nuke, pretty much, right? Turns into almost a planetary fortress with super range.
Yep. It hits air too.
And it hits air, yeah.
Yeah.
All of the above. Well, situations where it'd be like, okay, well, I need to Nidus in my opponent's base to win it right here, right?
Yeah.
Because he like blocked me in with cannons or something dumb. Well, I Nidus'd into the base, he turned it into a planetary fortress and killed all my units. Like, his whole base was defended because of that. And also it changes like the way other matchups work too. Like 4-gate, I can't even imagine 4-gates working anymore if they build a mothership core. Like 3-gate plus that kills everything, you know?
All right, here's
Lots
the
of
real,
the-
here's the
Go
real
ahead.
question. What old strategy against Zerg isn't going to be working anymore? What timing against Zerg doesn't work anymore?
Well, a lot of Zerg stuff is so much late game, or mid and late game. Like, our early game is the exact same. Like, nothing
Yeah.
changed except we can make tumors on ramps. Like, that's pretty much the extent of our new tricks in the beginning. Well, everyone else got lots of early game stuff. We actually got late game stuff, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, because Zerg was
Yeah.
already, like, the late game dominator of Wings of Liberty, right? Isn't that what everyone complains about? It's like, oh,
Exactly.
Zerg created the super army. And I have to say, like, even in Zerg versus Terran, like, I play... like Queen, Ultra, Infestor all the time versus Terran. And I almost always win. Like, if I control it properly, like, I don't have any problems. Well, now they gave me a Viper to add in with that. And yeah, it's like more APM that goes with it, but it's like, I haven't lost a game with it on Wings of Liberty. I got to be like 20-0 versus Terran with just doing that same strategy. And it's like, I'm doing nothing but making a super army, and they can't kill it, no matter if they have mech or bio or whatever. So I don't know.
And we have a
Maybe
replay. We have a replay of that, which hopefully we'll get
Well, yeah.
a chance to look at.
Should I get the
later.
Wings of Liberty one though? I mean, the Heart of the Swarm one though.
Either one.
I do
mean,
have that.
Well, we had the Wings of Liberty one, right? Well, we might as well
Yeah.
just look at the Wings of Liberty one then. But
Word.
so talk to me about, I guess, some of just talk to me about how, recently, right, with some of the changes, like the Oracle change. I mean, the Oracle has been, I feel like it's being redesigned like every patch.
Yeah, it's actually, this is like probably the most severe unit that's been altered the most. Besides, maybe the Mine is up for that too, because
What
the
about
Mine
the
used to
Warhound
explode.
just being
The
taken
Warhound
out,
just got
period?
removed.
Yeah, yeah.
They're just like, yeah, that's a terrible idea. It really doesn't do anything.
Exactly. So talk to me about the latest reincarnation of the latest version of the Oracle, and the slow and the
right, well-
life drain.
It's kind of a hybrid unit. It's almost like it's a support unit, but it's also a nuking unit at times, right? Because it can take down structure so fast. And so you see a lot of early aggression with like two Phoenix and then two Oracles, and they just rush to a base. And like, if you don't have like 2 or 3 perfectly placed spores or extra queens, then that base just dies, because they just pick up the 2 queens if you have them there, and they focus down the hatchery, and then you usually lose your third because of it. The problem is, a lot of times the players are like, they get so like, oh man, that was awesome doing it with 2. I'm gonna make like 8 of them, and then they're like overcommitting, and then they lose the game because of it.
Right.
But so it's a really strong, like, it can harass bases. So if you don't have anti-air at like a far expansion, or you're trying to take an expansion, like let's just imagine trying to take a 4th on Antigua Shipyard or something, right? So you know how 4th a lot of times is like a main in another base, or a natural, or something far away. Like, if you don't have anti-air there, then those bases just get obliterated in no time. And then they also have the ability to slow down everything. Like, they create like this huge force field. So it's also used where it could harass mineral lines by... used to, they could block mineral patches, right? They could just stop you from mining in general. Well, that was a little too strong, I guess they thought. Or they just didn't like the way it went, or the way it worked. And so now it actually can drop this this big force field looking thing to stop you, or not stop you, but slow down your mining for a pretty consistent time. I want to say it's got to be at least 40 seconds. I don't really know how long it lasts, the actual stats, but it felt like a really long time when somebody did it to me. And so that's kind of cool. And they also use it as a support unit in armies, because they can drop that, let's say, on your army or behind your army, and it actually almost stops you from being able to micro. Like, it's not even like feasible to try to run your hydras out of it. It's almost just like, all right, we're just going to let them fight and die.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Well, forget that PvT. I mean, you can just imagine. I mean, your
that,
bio
it's
army can't run. I mean, they have to fight. So
yeah, I saw that. So that's
crazy.
pretty awesome too. And I think those kind of things bring a lot to Heart of the Swarm. Just those little things where it's going to make those like moments where it's like the crowd's going to be like, "Oh, the storm killed everything," because of their inability to, split their army or move their army very effectively. So I think those are really cool things.
But is that good? I mean, I don't know if that's good necessarily, because sometimes the most impressive things that we see in engagements are just the miracle splits and that sort of thing.
Those will still exist. Like it's not that easy to pull it off, but it'll create something where it could be easy to pull off, right? Or not easy, but it's possible to pull off.
Okay.
So I don't think it's an easy thing, because it would die to like 5 Marines in like a second. Like it would just instantly blow up. So if you're not like controlling it perfectly, or you have it in a good position to use it, then I could definitely see it as a something that would cost you the game. Like, I built too many of these things, because you have to think they also cost 200 gas a pop. So it's a lot of gas you're investing into this.
That's true. That's true.
That's even more than Infestor. So if you think of it like, I saw people argue, it's like, well, we have a unit that's, supposedly what a Zerg unit should do, which is like slow down. That's what people think, Funko would do, but you can't defend Wings of Liberty, or Zerg would never win a game.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. That's definitely true. Okay, well, unfortunately, I know, Devin, you haven't played HoTs, so it's not it's hard for you to contribute here. But why don't we transition a little bit over to Wings of Liberty so that we can get your thoughts? Because you've been doing some cool things in Wings of Liberty recently. Obviously, the spine. I think that spine build has gotten a lot of attention of late, and I don't know why it didn't get more attention since you showed it to us on this show already. But
I actually made this build when Queen's got a range patch from 3 to 5. It was that long ago that I've had this.
Oh my god!
And I've been using it in tournaments ever since, and pretty much, except for the Naniwa games, in tournaments at least, I've always won with it. So.
No, you had the Naniwa game too. I felt like you just.
Just lack of a recent practice. So. But
yeah.
I don't really know. I guess that's the tournament where I got the spotlight, but I've been using it for so long.
Any other builds you have that are like, kind of unique in that regard?
All right. First off, before you go into that, I don't know what spine build we're talking about.
Okay.
So just tell me the build real quick.
Yeah, there you go. Why don't you explain it?
It's complicated, but you basically go like 11 Overlord, 11 pool, so you get an early pool out, but you just like make drones with it, except for like 2 lings to chase away the probe. And then get a really fast queen out, and the queen's going to walk all the way to the opponent's natural, and you send out like 2 drones and make like 6 more lings, so you can defend your whatever you're making there. And the 2 drones get there when the queen gets there. Build a hatchery, cancel it, double tumor, and double spine, and basically you're going to kill off their entire wall. You take a third behind it, and you actually have quite a large amount of economy because you only went for an 11 pool, Overlord even before it. So basically what happens is you kill their entire wall off. They generally make 4 cannons, and you have creep everywhere on their side of the map because you spread it backwards, so you stop them from taking their third.
And fourth.
and fourth,
yeah. Fourth, yeah.
So basically they should have to all in afterwards, but if they go like Immortal or if they go like Gateway openings, you have like 2 spines, 8 lings, and like 3 transfuses saved up by the time they push out. So the only way I've seen it that's like the best thing to do against it is just to go Stargate with 1 Void Ray, kill off everything with the 1 Void Ray, then just like Warp Gate all in. I haven't been able to stop that with the build, but everything else, like if they go Immortals, if they go like Phoenixes, if they go like just Warp Gates, it should just be like a really easy win.
You haven't been able to stop the Warp Gate on it?
Not if they go like Void Ray, because like the Void Ray kills off the queen really quickly, and then both my spines die, and then like I have to build spores at 3 different bases. I just don't have enough money after that to like get a high enough drone count to like then make enough roaches to stop the Warp Gate all in.
I see. Okay. Right.
It's counterintuitive, but you're actually supposed to just like ignore the creep at their side of the base or the map.
I see.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic because like all the kind of spine rushes you've seen in the past have been all ins.
Yeah,
and his is more of just a
it's like a harass.
Yeah, it's a harass. It's just a way to get ahead and get your third up earlier, or just get your third up. Just kind of throw the timings off pretty much for the Protoss. And
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
It works out pretty good.
As for new all-ins against Terran, I've been experimenting with Lair first because it seems very, very common that Terran's going like Hellion Banshee at like every single game. or some type of like blue flame Hellion, and I found that layer first makes for really good all-ins against them. I've won that. I used like almost every game in MLG versus Pro League. That won me so many games, just because it's like layer first into really fast muta, and the mutas come out at like 840, 850, which is the same time as the Banshee comes to your base. So like the Banshee comes and you're ready to have mutas out, and you just kill it. And then you just go to their base with mutas and banelings, and they can't stop it because all they have is Banshees and Hellions.
Okay, go ahead. Keep going.
There's a simpler version that I taught my CSL mates. Like they're having trouble against Terran, so I just taught them like go layer first and just like build a roach warren and get like 3 gas and go like ridiculously fast speed roaches. And literally like in practice games I've beaten like top Terrans by just doing this, just because they still go Hellion Banshee, and the roaches hit their base at like 8:15 right when the Banshee comes out.
Yep. So one Banshee ain't gonna do anything.
Yeah, you have like 14 roaches and just rallied speed roaches everywhere. And
right.
Yeah, it's not gonna do anything.
Right. Exactly. So getting back to your the Protoss one, I talked to you a little bit about it. Like after the mating wall match, can you get it? Can you get mutas in time for the gateway rush?
No, it's actually really easy. Like if they just go gateway, you can just go roach, and you should just be able to stomp it.
Even with the Void Ray though, like I'm talking like Stargate gateway rush.
No, you can't really get mutas fast enough because you're gonna have to drone up a lot. Just okay. If you take gas that early for a layer, you will have like no drones. So, yeah, just really fast Void Ray just seems to really destroy it pretty hard.
I see. Okay.
I had a chance versus Naniwa in that game because he sent his first Void Ray to my third, which I think was a mistake. If he just like sent it to kill my queen and just like killed both spine crawlers, he probably could have just pushed and won. So that kind of like gave me a chance there, but
I'm surprised the spine crawlers make such a big difference. Like even
how many spine crawlers is it?
It's only 2.
It's just 2.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you have like 3 transfuses and like 8 lings. So
what if you just sent your? What if you just like? Because, okay, you build another queen after you send the first one, right?
Yeah, I don't miss an inject. Like a constant. I actually cut a couple drones just so I have constant injects in my main.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what if you just sent a second queen down there? Wouldn't that just delay it a whole lot longer?
The issue is that you're cutting drones, and then as well, like, you don't necessarily know if he's going Void Ray or not. I mean, he could, but...
Yeah, but that's like the hardest counter to it. Should you play to
Well, a second queen, you could still kill it with 2 Void Rays is the issue, if he just targets the one with the most energy.
They both have transfuses, though.
They both would have a lot of energy, though.
Yeah.
2 Void Rays should be able to kill 2 queens, even. Like, the second one should only have 1 transfuse, right? Maybe 2.
2,
then
probably.
even then, it's just...
Yeah, it'd be really close.
like a 3rd Void Ray. And
yeah.
It'd still delay for a lot longer, though, and like force more out of him. Instead, like if you build 3 Void Rays, you're not going to do no Warp Gate all in, probably, like right after.
I would experiment with it, but
I don't know.
I'm just worried that it might bring too much of an investment in the rush, and like the follow-up might suffer, but it's something definitely to play around with, yeah.
You still have the Overlord pretty close, right? So scout what he's doing, right? So you could get an earlier read, but...
And then especially, like, even if they make, like, a Sentry and Stalker, they aren't going to go Overlord chasing just because they're always worried that you're going to go, like, a Ling Baneling all in.
Yeah.
So they just have it at their natural.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah,
that's another thing that doesn't work well in Heart of the Swarm. Like,
what?
all ins in general, like Roche pressure and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's so hard with the Mothership Core, especially with the ability to turn the Nexus into a planetary fortress.
Yeah, that's...
Like, it's really hard to be aggressive early on, I find.
I found even that ability for the Mothership Core has affected muta play, at least for me. Like, it kills a lot of mutas. Before you can kill... Or kind of, at least just psychologically, basically getting your mutas hit by the Nexus.
Yeah. It zones you, I think is the main part, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh, I'm going to go harass the main because nothing's there, and then the Nexus just starts shooting you, and it's like, well, I guess I'm going back because I'm obviously not going to kill the whole Nexus.
Exactly. And it does decent damage. I think maybe 3 shots kills a muta. I mean, it's like not.
It's 3 or 4 for sure.
Yeah, you're gonna take a lot of losses trying to harass the mineral line.
Yep, it's actually really strong. Like, I really am excited. Like the way Protoss is looking at the moment. Just if I was Protoss, I'd be happy. Even with the units that most pros complain with, the Tempest. Like most pros are like, oh, I don't like the Tempest or whatever. But I think it's actually kind of cool, especially in other matchups like PvP, because the Tempest is like an alternative counter to the Colossus, right? So when people are making like Colossus armies, well, the Tempest is the same cost, same supply as a Colossus. And so I actually have seen games like on In Control stream while streaming HoTs where he has like 8 Colossus and the other person went. So he has like Colossus Stalker pretty much versus Tempest Zealot Archon, and the Tempest Zealot Archon crushed
Right, right.
the other army. So it's like, wow, that's actually kind of cool that, you know, all these other kind of strategies and plays kind of work out. So it's pretty neat.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely been. I watched him the other night play some too for the first time. I guess it was his first time playing, right?
Yeah, he was experimenting.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But okay, cool. Well, we still got some time here. Why don't we go through that replay that you brought here? I know it's a Wings of Liberty one, but
it is.
Why don't we take a look at it?
Sure.
Do you have it, Devin? Or
oh right. Go ahead and send it through Skype one more time.
Okay, let me load up the game, guys. So what we have this Ultra Queen Infestor build that EG.LzGaMeR's been using a lot and says that he never loses with it. So.
Well, maybe not never, but rarely. Like if I lose, it's usually
said never,
my own
man.
fault.
You said never.
Okay, never. I'll stand by that. Never lost, ever. Not even once. Like I thought about losing. I actually do this in Heart of the Swarm too. It's just like you add Vipers in the mix, and it's like 10 times stronger.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Blizzard was
Great.
nice enough to buff me during the expansion. Pretty thrilled about
That's
it.
what everybody wants to hear, man. Okay, let me get this over here. Wings of Liberty. Loading it up. And guys, we're doing a giveaway today. Shoot, I don't even have the text on there. We're giving away 5 Heart of the Swarm beta keys to not random viewers, but viewers who enter by either following me on Twitter, subscribing to my YouTube channel, or liking me on Facebook. All the accounts are right there. And if you've already done that in the past, with the other giveaways, then just go ahead and tweet me just any guest that you'd like to see in the near future, because I always ask for feedback on the thread. My Pro Corner thread gets like no love at all when it comes to just discussion and stuff. So I've been asking for ages for feedback as to who you guys want to see, and I never get it. So I figured I'd just incorporate a giveaway.
I'd like to suggest J-Dong as the next guest.
Come on. Well, actually, Lenok's going to be a guest soon. But
that would be nice.
But J-Dong, oh my God, yeah. J-Dong would be pretty cool.
That'd be pretty awesome.
Pretty amazing. Flash.
This is actually versus your teammate, Hawk.
Oh, yeah.
Apocalypse.
Versus Quantic, yeah.
All right, let me load this replay up. So why don't we load it up and go to 2 minutes here? I'll switch to the overlay in a second, guys. So I know you can't see it.
So are we pausing at 2 minutes? Is that what we're doing?
Pausing at 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, if Lenok, would stop, crushing everybody in GSL for a second, so I could get him on the show. That'd be great. He's just too busy right now.
I mean, he's too busy winning money. Yeah. I don't really blame him either.
Tough, man. Just rough life, man.
Winning money is kind of good.
Yeah, it's always good. All right, so we're at 2 minutes. Let me switch this over so you guys can see. There we go. And okay, let me add your screen regions here too. Let me know when all you're there.
Yeah, I'm there.
I'm at 2 minutes.
Okay, great.
What times are we playing on?
It's 28 minutes. We got time. We can just play it on just faster. It's good. Sorry, let me get y'all's.
So how does this work on Cloud Kingdom? Ultras generally can't attack very well.
Really?
Yeah,
I pretty much use this on every map. So.
All right.
I guess anything can attack well if it lives long enough.
Yeah. I suppose if there's
that's a good point.
Right?
That's a good point.
Right. Also, I find creep spreading on Cloud Kingdom's pretty easy.
Oh yeah.
Kind of just
that's
clearing the map and creep. So that always helps when it's a map like that.
I just find it annoying when Terran doesn't attack you on this map.
Really? I mean, it doesn't really matter. The ultimate scenario is Terran didn't attack me and just let me have 4 bases. or something. Like that would be the ultimate
gotta
scenario.
Wait for Brood Lords, then you have to slowly push them. It's
Well, eventually Terran has to attack, right? Eventually they're gonna have all the bases.
I don't know. Some Terrans
I guess.
just don't do it.
All right, let's get this started here. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so let's just look at it from your perspective here. Get all this good stuff up here. Played
Oh, APOC, so nice.
Oh.
So nice. Well, oh, yeah.
All right.
People of the world.
So if you missed the previous chat, he said America is very good, and all of Quantic is very nice. So that must mean Hawk.
Yeah, I'm a secretly nice person.
Secretly.
Secretly nice person.
Don't lie. Nothing happens for the longest. Like we could speed this to times 2.
Let's do it. Let's do speed 2.
Okay.
All
Let's
right.
just go now.
Let's do it.
You tell me. You tell us when to back it down.
Okay.
Make sure the sound's not. I gotta fix the sound. Ooh. All right, just standard.
Pretty much.
Yeah, but nobody opens.
Make queens. We go straight to 4 queens, and then we'll take gases like right after the 3rd and 4th queen start.
Right.
Okay.
So I think it's like a standard timing for pretty much every build, which is what I like to do. Like, I like to have a lot of builds where they look the same, but they could be completely different, right?
Yeah.
So you could like mix things up.
Yeah,
So if
that's
somebody
smart.
scouts something in general, like oh well he just took 2 gases, well it can't mean just one thing. You know, it's like oh he's going to do the same build. It could still be a number of builds there could do.
Yeah.
Right.
It's actually really strong in this game is to make a bunch of builds that that act completely differently, but look a lot alike.
Yep, they all look very similar, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's very true. It's also really important when you're coming up with the build. Like, a good example is, so Machine has this, like, Nidus build that we were talking about earlier, right? It's like a Nidus Roach Queen versus Terran. Well, the problem with the build that he had to change was he made the build so obvious, right? He would have, like, instead of 2 evolution chambers in the front like I have here, he would have, like, an evolution chamber and a Roach Warren, right?
Yeah.
And so he would just make it more obvious what was coming, instead of, like, let's say 2 evolution chambers, which might cost a little bit more minerals, even if you're not planning on using both of them.
Right.
But then you put your Roach Warren somewhere else, right?
Yeah, the unexpectedness is makes up for any, maybe like the few seconds that you're giving up or the
Definitely.
added cost. Yeah, that's. All right, should we slow it down yet or no? Keep going.
Yeah, we can slow it down, I guess.
All right, let's slow it down. I'm at 8:45.
That was layer first, right?
Yep, that was layer first.
Okay.
All right,
I like
so
that.
we're back down to faster now.
Yep.
So, okay, cool.
Something like 854. Is that right?
I'm around.
Something
there.
around that?
Yeah.
Okay. Just in the vicinity. Yeah, so that's like first 100 gas, you go straight to layer, and then you actually go the next, you go the upgrades for Carapace and Melee next, and then you get Zergling speed. So it's actually like Zergling speed is pretty late, but you don't need it. Like with this like wall off and stuff, like Hellions aren't going to give you any problems. With the super fast layer, you could obviously build an Overseer if you need it. I really haven't seen anything from my opponent though. He didn't Hellion harass me. I do see a Banshee at my base, so it's kind of delayed. So I figured he probably went the 3rd command center beforehand, and then I actually saw it when it was floating over and he killed my Zergling. So I know Terran's 3rd base is actually a little bit faster than mine, but that's actually kind of standard with this build. Like I never actually have the economic advantage. It's just the cost efficiency usually of my army.
You're investing in really high efficiency units, so it's not like you really need more income than he does.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So talk to me about this kind of heavy Ling harass here.
Okay, so this was I saw him take a fast 3rd, so I want to make sure he's not trying to get away with murder, right? So a lot of times you can go in here and do a lot of damage. Of course, my Lings were just like AFK, like right at his base.
Yeah.
I don't even think my Zerglings kind of look slow for some reason. Maybe it's because I was watching on ×2
Yeah.
for so long.
Yeah, Life does this kind of thing too. I don't know
Yeah,
if it's
he does.
that big of an investment, but it's definitely the timing seems around the same time.
Yeah, it's not really that big of an investment. I mean, to me, it's just like you're able to put a light pressure on. You don't even have to do this Zergling thing if you don't want to. Like, to be honest, a lot of times I'll make these Zerglings, but I actually won't even incorporate them in my army as the game goes on. I'll use them as like drop defense, right? So I'll split them into like 2 groups, and I'll leave some in my main, some in my natural, or something, so that I don't have to worry about drops. Because the one thing about this playstyle, if my opponent is playing bio, that it's hard to split off units and deal with drops and stuff, right? Like, what are you going to do? Split off 2 ultras, which costs like I don't know how many supply, right? So it makes things a little bit more complicated when they do those kind of play styles.
So do you opt for? I mean, you are building static defense. Is that what you opt for, or?
I opt for a little static defense. This is probably before I realized. This was right before MLG. This is probably the week before I left for MLG Dallas. So it's a couple weeks old replay. So after this, I think I realized, after playing some versus the Muslim, where he was just like, he was able to, do too much damage to me with just drops and stuff, that I should probably leave like these Zerglings behind in future fights, because they really don't, they don't have really a big purpose. Like the Queen, the Infestor can hold off like this attack that Terran's trying to do to me now.
Yeah, I mean, Lings are cheap too. I mean, they can be replaceable too. So
exactly,
yeah, they're that's cool. Yeah, it's good. Like the adjustments that you make obviously when you're playing a high level Terran like the Muslim over.
Yep. It's very very helpful and beneficial.
Yeah. Okay, so you got a pretty healthy. Well, you got a lot of queens here.
I got a couple. I mean, I'm still probably gonna keep adding queens to this. Like, you can't have too many.
So you got 10 queens right now, and well, I think you got 10 queens that are just in the army. Let me see. Yeah, you got 10 queens total, so you're sending all your queens, so you're not leaving any to inject here.
No. The thing is, I don't really have to worry about that much about injecting. I'm also going to be constantly building them. Like, I still have them building right now, even though I'm supply blocked.
Yeah, it's because you're building such supply-heavy units, right? So
right.
It doesn't matter how many.
I don't even need that much larva. Like, it's just not that important. To be honest, a lot of times nowadays, I'll throw down I learned in Heart of the Swarm, I just throw down a couple extra macro hatches just for larva, since I'm not going to be injecting that much.
Got it. Okay, so there went the Lings that you were talking
and that's
about.
the reason I don't even bring them with the army, because they just evaporate. Like, well, that was kind of dumb. Like, no point in doing that anymore.
Alright, so he's dropping, took out your 4th there.
Yeah.
This is pretty typical of Terran, kind of dropping from one side and pushing on the other side to...
Yeah, they use it to pretty much get in position for this attack, so...
Or take out
and
both
so he gets into the position they want. It's a pretty small Terran force, though. Like, over here, it's not that big. It's only, 5 tanks.
Fungal.
I mean, I feel like Apok probably just made like a really bad decision to continue attacking after his drop. Saw that we were going for such an efficient army.
Probably, yeah. Like, I don't really know how you attack, especially on creep, right? You even attack that. It's just, I mean, you saw how I killed his entire army. Like, look at the units lost already, right? Like, pretty much says the reason I don't need a whole lot of bases right now with this, right? Because it's a big deal. Like, he's mined probably more than me. He even has a 4th base coming up much faster than me, but I don't have to keep up in the mining, just because if you think of it, like, if I just take my entire side of the map and I win every engagement, then I'm going to be ahead, right?
Right.
He's going to eventually mine out. This is definitely not a style that you'd play to end the game fast. It's just not possible. It's more like a game to... It's a very micro-intensive style, I would say, too, because you have a lot of casters, right? So you have to make sure your battles go into good positions and everything like that as well.
Well, also, like, if you lose these units just once, if you lose the army, it's very hard to rebuild as well.
It's very true.
Yeah, because you're not...
Also, queens are blocking like terrible, too. It's never good.
I guess ideally you would have 8 gas by now, right? I mean, he's doing a great job with denying.
Yeah, definitely. Like, if you played like a normal Ling style, like, you'd want much more bases than what you have now, currently.
Yeah, you would have a lot more gas banked here, but still, it still would make up for rebuilding a 200 army.
And I think the real trick to this build is actually getting that 4th base. Like, if you ever secure 4 bases, I feel like you're set to win the game. Like, it's really like the 7th and 8th gas that becomes such a a power for Zerg. Like, if any Terran out there that's like, how do you even beat this then? It's really keeping the Zerg down on 3 bases. Like, if you keep the Zerg down on 3 bases and you just nonstop harass and delay him from getting a 4th base forever, then you're pretty much set to win.
I don't know. With this many queens, I just feel like once you have like 6 ultras, you can just get like 3 broodlords and just kind of win, just because you'll have unlimited transfuses.
I mean, to an extent.
Wow. Okay. Look at this. Well, I guess you get 1 shot at the transfuses. But damn, yeah, that makes your army twice as efficient there. You didn't have that many infestors, did you?
No, I usually only have like 2 or 3 infestors with any of these like engagements or armies or anything.
What? I mean, you have an IMBA unit, you don't even use it?
Don't
What's
even
going
need
on,
it.
Man?
The queen's like another IMBA unit.
Yeah. Shh.
They're like medevacs for Zerg.
Yeah, they're almost as good as like a Terran unit. You know, like it almost automatically heals my army.
If only you could transport it.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Maybe like carry it around in a pouch. I could see an ultra fitting inside a queen.
I honestly can't see that. Would its like arms be hanging out? Like then the queen becomes a melee unit, like it can run into things and like stab it. Pretty awesome.
Right.
So here Terran's still ahead on bases on me. He's got good he's maxed upgraded. Pretty much in everything. But we're gonna switch here into like Broodlords pretty soon. Now I would already actually have Vipers and Heart of the Swarm out already because you can get those the minute the hive's done. So I pretty much after I get my first few ultras or whatever and stop the first push that usually Terrans make, and the ultras actually hit before the push as well. So that's always very convenient.
Yeah. Alright, so you're probably denying the 5th, but at this point you're still sitting on like 160, 170 supply. I mean,
There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
I don't want to make, like, I have zero purpose of making units that I don't want in my army. Like, Lings right now would not make this army stronger. Not at all.
I know, but making something is better than nothing. Like, right?
Well,
I mean,
if you have to make all your money count for something, like using a lot of your money as just stuff you're going to throw away, doesn't really help that much. Like, it's better
I get that,
to be
but
efficient.
I mean, you could have built more ultras, right? Or did you, I guess the question is, did you choose not to fill that supply, or?
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Well, I had, I could remax anytime I want, but now it's like I'm going to switch into Broodlords and make all these, the next wave of my army.
Right. So you're already anticipating that transition. Okay.
See, like now I have Corruptors coming out, Broodlords morphing, and I'll fill my supply with whatever I feel needed. So it's like if I see a lot of Vikings, I'll make a lot of Corruptors, right, to help support that.
Oh, I pushed the wrong button. Jeez.
Did you reset the whole replay?
I pushed T on accident. Jeez. Okay, it's okay though. I went back. What's the follow key? I'm like having a brain fart today.
Isn't it? I don't know.
At a BC, where are you when I need you, man?
Seriously.
The follow key is like the magic key for observing. Oh, control.
Just click the portrait.
I
I don't really know what the key is.
F. Is it control? Control Shift F. This freaking snapshot.
The hive cluster is under attack.
Also, another thing
it's
that I like
Control
about
F.
this
It's not
style.
Control Shift F, guys. It's Control F. Thanks, guys.
Another thing that I really like about this style is that because not many players do this style, like I know there is other players, like Fitzy has a style of this. It's different though because he incorporates lots of Lings in it.
He does, and he uses a lot more Broodlords too. I
Yeah,
think.
he does.
Yeah. I mean,
and
there's
he
only a
like
few.
Niduses, and he does all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
He does lots of crazy stuff. Not that it's bad, just different.
Yeah.
No, I think this composition, the different balanced composition of these units makes a huge difference as to what they need to have to defend against it.
Yep.
I mean, the great part about this style is it's incredibly safe, and it allows you to get up to the death army.
Yep.
Yeah.
Be like,
It's pretty much what I aim for.
Yeah.
so long as like you don't mess up with an engagement, you should just be able to get up that death army.
Yep. I agree.
It's all assuming that Death Army is greater than theirs, right? I mean, that's really with that assumption. And if you have that assumption, it's just as long as you get to this army, you win. So
right.
yeah,
It's very true.
You ever have any issues with ghosts? Like, I mean, obviously ghosts would be a huge, huge detriment to your army.
Very, very rarely do I have a problem with ghosts. Usually it's like, you know, if I see ghosts or something, I'll always incorporate some overseers, and then I just switch into like more of a mass broodlord type army. It's just kind of a walkover.
So somebody in chat's asking how this does against mech.
Oh, this is actually better versus mech than it is bio, which might be another reason why it's so good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, absolutely it should. Yeah, the DPS
like
for mech is
like this is good versus versus bio, but it's even better versus mech for sure.
Not you. I wonder what the total count on the ultras these last are.
I don't know, but look at the resource loss tab.
I know, resource loss tab is ridiculous.
Wild.
This is coming from the race that's supposed to be more cost efficient, right? So
Right, exactly.
that's why I've always loved.
It just shows that there's still like a lot to this game that
Yeah.
hasn't been figured out, and like you don't see pro players do, like over in Korea, and so no one ever even knows about, right?
That's why Fitzy, you know, a lot of times in tournaments pulls
He
out
does
some
really
big
well,
victories,
right?
Yeah, and I remember when I had him on for the first time too, and yeah, it was like very, like it was so different. It kind of opens your
He
mind.
does the
to a lot of
craziest of
things.
stuff.
Yeah,
Like, no joke. He does the most insane stuff I've seen. It's like, wow.
well, they're made from the same thread, man.
Something like that.
Given you guys, or he steals your builds, right?
No, I ain't saying anything. He was doing, I guess he was probably doing the queen thing before me. Like, probably
Oh,
versus
really?
this.
Okay, now you're saying it,
Maybe.
dude. Before you were saying
I
he
was
stole
doing
it from you.
No, I was doing the queen build ZVZ way before him, though.
Okay,
That's-
there we go.
that's
See,
what we were talking about.
That's what we were talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Mass Queen Roach.
That crap is
thing.
still so good. Like, I did it versus Jukto at MLG.
Uh-huh.
Worked like a charm.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Queens have always been really fun if you know your opponent is really aggressive. Just because if you get a lot of queens, stopping Ling Baneling attacks is just really fun.
We'll actually use queens in like a timing. Like if my opponent goes muta, like queens are like an instant win if you do like queen knight. Also, if you, which that brings me to the thought that that's also going to be something that's going to be weird about Heart of the Swarm, because it's like if you don't go muta, you're punished by Swarm host, but if you do go muta, you could actually lose to like mass queens.
Wow, that's nice.
It's another like side of the story, I guess.
Yeah, the queens, I think, haven't been. I mean, they've been utilized obviously to a decent extent, but you know, when it comes to hive units, I feel like they haven't been maximized. You know, it's like it is the healing unit, right, that we have, and we only use it with like brood lords and ultras. You never really see it outside of that. Where
I think you would see them a lot more if like they weren't so slow off creep, but because they're so slow off creep, people just like don't even like consider them for strategies, right? Like, oh, well,
it's kind of a one-way trip.
they're a defensive unit or something, right? When it's obviously not really the case. They're actually like one of the strongest aggressive units, and that's the reason nowadays, lately, I say nowadays, but I mean really lately, you actually see people bringing all their queens with like broodlord pushes and stuff, right, to transfuse them up.
Yeah, yeah. And
People are starting to like get the hint, like, wow, these are actually like really good. I should probably, you know, use these.
Yeah, and that's what's funny about somebody like Lenok, right? Who, I mean, that's kind of what's made him so good. Like for this, you know, so as long as it's, you know, he's been good. It's just because he does all the little Zerg utilities really well, or it just brings them kind of like to light again. Which, you know, I remember he was doing he was bringing the queens, at least from a GSL standpoint. Like he kind of started that trend, right? And then wasn't he the one that started the burrowed banes too? The kind of trend with burrowed banes, or was that Lysira? I can't remember. It's Lenok or Lysira, but
It's just a bunch of Zergs all at once.
yeah, they just kind of
To me, it's still
funny.
Moon, man. Like he blew up like 30 Banelings, didn't kill a unit. Like I was impressed.
Oh, that's
like
true.
that forever was like he is the Baneling king right there.
That's true.
I think he still went on to win that game too.
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah, he did. He did go on to win that game. But yeah, so queens, yeah, definitely trial queens, guys. Queen centric army. The queens are only 2 supply too. I mean, shit, pretty great stuff, and you can just cover the map and creep while you're at it too. So
Yeah, you absolutely can.
definitely good stuff. But all right, why don't we take some questions here? It's kind of just another reminder that we're doing 5 Heart of the Swarm beta key giveaways. And at the end of the show, we're just going to choose from all the entries. And the way you enter is follow me on Twitter, subscribe to me on YouTube, and like me on Facebook. They're right down there, all my accounts. And that will enter you or put you in for a drawing for one of the Heart of the Swarm keys. And if you've done it in the past, if you've already subscribed to me and all that good stuff in the past, then tweet me a player that you want to see in the near future on Pro Corner. Particularly for Heart of the Swarm, too, because I'm going to start doing... Pro Corner is going to turn into exclusively Heart of the Swarm in the near future. So, yeah, so I had to kind of have that in mind. All right, let's take some callers. The way, guys, you're going to call in is add me on Skype, and I'll pull you into this call so that you can talk to these guys, ask them anything you want. Well, almost anything. And, oh, I don't know. Anything they're willing to answer, I guess, is more probably the best thing to describe. But okay, we got U-Boss here. Let's see if he wants to. Okay, he's got a question. Okay, so let me switch over here. I was really late to setting all the screen regions today, so please forgive me for setting these while...
Hey guys.
Hey U-Boss, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for the show.
Yeah.
Thanks EG.LzGaMeR and Hawk for being such awesome people. Yeah, I got a small question. Well, since you guys played HoTs, if there was one unit or one concept of a unit you would like to see or for any race or all races, which one would it be and how would it work?
Yeah, I guess if you had creative control, right, and you could just throw in whatever you wanted, what would you like to see?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would like the Viper to actually be... I don't know how it would happen. Like, I don't know how you would do it, but I would like to be able to see it as like a layer tech, to where it would be like another option instead of the Infestor, or even move the Infestor to the Hive or something, to where like the roles kind of switch. I think that would be one of the things that I would definitely try to figure out a way for. At least we'd stop hearing so much like Infestor whining, I feel like. If it wasn't where you could just get them so quickly, and that would just be kind of it.
Cool.
I don't know. That's one of the things I was thinking about.
For me, I really missed the Scourge from Brood War. Like, I really miss it.
Yeah.
I feel
That'd
like
be
it's
sick.
a really fun unit. Like, if we could just throw out the Corruptor somehow and still have the Brood Lord, and then just make it a Scourge, because do you know how exciting it would be to have, like, Scourges running at a Mothership, and then, like, I don't know, seeing if they can Vortex them in time or Storm them in time, like, have them, like, really low health. And then at the same time, I feel like they're just a much more fun and exciting unit than Corruptors. Like, imagine Scourges crashing into Colossus all at once and, like, splitting them correctly. That was actually a really fun micro ability of Brood War, was just, like, cloning Scourges, splitting them off so they don't, like, overkill a unit. I don't know, I just wish I had Scourge back. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. That's
Yeah.
actually something I didn't even think about. That would be amazing to have, especially because Zerg is so hard at dealing with drops and stuff. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
That's like their anti-air is like utter crap at the moment.
That's actually a very good suggestion.
So just being able to have the option
Yeah.
to where you can build these really gas-intensive anti-air things, to where it's like it could make you more. Also, it's a big audience thing too. Like, audience
Yeah,
loves
exactly.
those kind of things. Like,
They love
even if like
names.
the Medivacs trying to unload the Marines as the Scourge are chasing them or something, and they kill one of the Scourge, and so one of them,
Or, like-
only one of them connects or something.
You see, like, 4 Medivacs and 8 Scourges, and, like, the Zerg player just splits them off, like, insanely well, insanely quickly, and kills every single one of them. That would be just insane.
That would be.
Yeah.
And what about
it's
the
kind
other
of
races?
Go ahead.
Guys, just what about the other races? Because I see a lot of Zerg bias here, which is normal again, but then again, it would be nice to see something else for like Protoss or something that you might think can be useful.
Well, I mean, I think Protoss, they're kind of headed in the right direction, which is I think they're trying to phase out Force Field, right? And so I don't know if they've done it yet with like Tempest kind of being that unit that kind of, I don't know, in a way starts the redesign of the race. But I think Protoss slowly needs to be redesigned in a way. because it was designed all around force field to begin with.
Exactly.
And now, given that I think everybody believes that that's the root of the problem with Protoss, that it's going to take some time for them to do it. But I think they will. I think they'll accomplish it. It's just it's going to take some, messing around with oracles, messing around with all these different types of units, because the biggest issue is that there's just not very much micro you can do with Protoss right now.
I also wish that they would bring back the Reaver and take away the Colossus.
Yeah,
because the Colossus is just kind of, I don't know. It's just a 1A unit. Like you won't notice a difference between a Pro controlling a Colossus or a Bronze controlling a Colossus. Like there's no ground there to where it's like, oh, that was so epic, or he did something really amazing.
Yeah,
and the ways that Reaver's shot even worked could make like epic moments also. That I really loved, It's like one Scarab that just keeps following forever, and then it gets to this moment where it follows all the way into the mineral field and blows up all the workers or something. So I don't know. There's just like, I do like how Protoss is going now. I think that every Protoss should love Protoss way more in Heart of the Swarm than they ever had in Wings of Liberty. I feel like they have much more options of doing some stuff. As far as Terran goes, I would like to see them to redo the mine again. Like, I don't really like the way the mine plays at the moment. Like, it's not even a mine. It should just be called an auto. Man. Yeah, pretty much what it is. Like, it's not a mine. I don't even, like, they have to change the name. I mean, it just doesn't even fit at the moment.
The mine, though, the original mine I felt like wasn't designed appropriate either, just because
I feel like the mine, they should give Terran maybe a new unit, and the mine should become something that with an upgrade, a Hellion could lay or something.
It's like the old school mines.
Right. I mean, it's hard to get a cost out of something that costs money that's going to blow up. Even though Zerg's done it forever with Banelings, but I don't know.
Yeah, but the supply cost of Banelings is very low.
That's true.
Mean, it's a half a supply.
Well, I think a mine shouldn't cost 2 supply in general. Like I think it should be a 1 supply, but I think it would have to be much weaker than what it is now, because. Right now, it's literally like a tank shot that hits air or ground. Like, if a Muta runs near a mine that you wouldn't even know if you were near, like, a Muta dies right off the bat, and the others are severely weakened.
There's nothing like seeing a Terran plop a mine right next to a robo facility, because the Terran never gets an observer out. They're just fucked.
Yep.
So it's crazy.
It's pretty wild. Also, like, one mine, like, burrowed at like behind your mineral line, if a medevac comes to drop it TVT, it shoots it down instantly. Like, it has no chance of ever unloading a unit. Oh,
really? Wow.
It's like, wow, that's pretty ridiculous.
Well, that just negates, I think a pretty big tactic in TVT.
Yeah, TVT,
also. Yeah,
for sure.
But, okay, thanks for your question, Ubas.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and Chris, keep on doing your great show. You're really doing a good job.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He was a good guy. He calls in a lot. So, Pontus. So if you want to call in your questions, guys, add me on Skype. My Skype ID is ChanmanV, and I will pull you into the call whenever the time is right. I guess Pontus isn't. If you don't have Skype though, you can ask your questions in stream chat here. We'll read them out. Let's see. Somebody wants to marry you, Jake.
Sweet.
I think he's a guy too.
Sweet.
I guess Pontus is in there. Come on, any other calls, guys? And last chance on entering the giveaway, guys. Tweet me who you want to see on the show sometime soon, either in the discussion format or just old school Pro Corner formats.
One thing that's actually really bothered me with the units in Wings of Liberty and now Heart of the Swarm was that I have no idea whatever happened to the Dark Archon. Like, that was, I thought, one of the coolest units, and it just disappeared.
Yep.
Yeah, it did. Actually, Pontus, you there?
It never really got the...
Yeah. Can I talk now?
Yeah, you can talk anytime you want, man. Welcome to Pro Corner, dude.
I'm joking.
Oh, you're a little soft. I can barely hear you.
Yeah, everyone keeps complaining.
Okay, I can hear you now. Go for it.
Oh yeah, cool. I'm not like breathing into my microphone.
No, you're okay.
Okay. What's up with like blue flame Hellion pushes with like biomech? I'm having a lot of trouble against its CVT.
in Wings of Liberty?
Yeah.
What do you guys
Like,
think?
how do you scout it?
So is it the early version, like the Marine Hellion only type of?
Yeah,
push, or-
Marine, Hellion, Marauder,
Okay.
Hellion push, around 10 minutes, maybe. 11.
Well, I mean, it depends how you're playing. Those pushes can be kind of hard to deal with if you're going like middle lane Baneling, but of course you can just delay it. Generally, the safest way to deal with that push is just to see that it's coming and then make a lot of Banelings and also have good creep spread. That's generally the only thing you need to defend it is just really good creep spread and then a high count of Banelings with Baneling speed up, which you should be able to get it up fast enough. If you go for your tech too quickly against that, you might have like 2 or 3 infestors up by the time they come, but certainly it's not going to be a high enough number for you to stop it completely, or at least every single time. A few times you might be able to, but I think it's generally just about like delaying your meter or infestors just a little bit and defending it with just a lot of banelings and lings.
Yeah, or you could even go the roaches way. You could do that too. Roaches would stop it no problem if you just made, you over roach like you were playing it more so like you were playing versus mech. Like, to be honest, they're not going to have medevacs usually a lot of times with that push. Sometimes they do, but roaches are still not that bad versus Terran in the early game. As the late game comes, then roaches start phasing out. But you can hold it with roaches just by reacting to it. Just make sure that a lot of times I sack an Overlord versus Terran if I don't know what they're doing. Like if I'm completely lost. Mm-hmm. Also, if a lot of times you can see little things, like if they do the 2-fact version because it's a blue flame, so a lot of times they'll have 2 factories, like one on reactor, one on the factory, and they'll keep producing bio or whatever. You can actually see 3 Hellions leave the base, like if you have an Overlord outside or something, and if you keep seeing 3 at a time instead of 2, like it obviously means it's like going to be some kind of aggression or 2-fact play or something. So there's lots of little different things, but I agree. I think Baneling is probably the best way with just good creep spread, and also like having like maybe a couple spines to help zone, so it forces them into you, right? Yeah. Like you don't ever want to have to go off of creep and try to chase them because they're going to be way too cost efficient.
All right, Pontus. Hope that helps.
Yeah. And the name is Greek, by the way.
Oh, it's Greek? I was just calling you by your Skype name, sorry.
Yeah, I'm Swedish, but it's Greek. It's kind of weird.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's awesome.
Thanks for watching from over. I think you're overseas then, right? Not in America?
No, I'm from Sweden.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yep. Talk to you next time.
Yeah,
see you.
Okay, so we got some questions in the stream chat here. One of the main questions is, when do you think everybody should switch over to HoTs? Like, if they have the beta key right now, should they just start playing right now?
I think you should play whatever is the most fun to you at the moment. If you have more fun playing Wings of Liberty, then I think you should play Wings of Liberty. If I think you're having more fun playing HoTs, then you should play HoTs. I think that's where it is, and that's even where I'm currently at, where it's like, yes, HoTs is the future, but I also have a lot more fun playing HoTs because it's something new. It's like something fresh to me. So that's my advice towards that. Maybe Hawk has a better idea.
No, I actually completely agree. I've said that as well. Like, you should just play what you have fun with. Because as it turns out, even if like you want to, one of those players that's just like, well, I really want to be promoted, I want to get better. It turns out that if you enjoy what you're playing, you tend to practice or play. It's not even practice anymore. It's just playing to have fun, and you tend to actually get better even more quickly if you're just having fun with what you do. So
that's very true.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point of the games. That's the whole point of playing games for us non-professionals, right? It's just to have fun. So, yeah, that's a really good answer. The only thing I would add to it is that I think the wait time on Heart of the Swarm games it's still a little bit long right now, right? At night, at least for me.
Well, maybe at night. It's not that bad.
Okay.
Lately, it's probably like 20 seconds or something to get a game.
Oh,
so it's not that bad. And that's like high MMR, like #1 Masters in Heart of the Swarm. So it's not bad, to be honest. Like, it's not nearly as bad as when it first started. I think it's definitely going the right direction as far as queue times.
That's good. Yeah, I need to start playing some more too, but yeah, time.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Anders BM has a question. If you want to take it up, I was wondering if performance-enhancing drugs. Okay, is performance-enhancing drugs a big problem in StarCraft 2? In the pro scene,
it is used.
We're talking about like Ritalin and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's definitely used, and I think it does give people an advantage. But I mean, what are you going to do? make somebody go pee between games or something. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really know how you would go about it.
So you don't have to say names, but are there big names using it?
Uh-huh.
Definitely.
Really?
I know
Yeah.
lots. I
Wow.
can't say that no one on EG is using it, but
Yeah.
I do know a lot of players that do use it.
Quantic
Wow.
actually has a stipulation that you actually cannot use that, or else you'll be kicked from the team. So
Wow. Okay.
it's more prevalent in the scene that most people would like to admit.
Yeah, I didn't know like it was that prevalent. I mean, I definitely knew there were folks using
I mean,
it,
there haven't been any studies done that actually makes a direct link between like performance-enhancing drugs and increased like performance in StarCraft or like better win rates, because that's a very hard study to actually do. So a link hasn't actually been made that it actually helps, but nevertheless, you can assume that it helps people like concentrate, and that's why you get a good amount of players that will use it for tournaments.
I see. Okay, well, good question. Let's see. Okay. No, we are not. We haven't given away beta keys yet. Not yet. And again, guys, if you want to call in and ask these guys your question live, go ahead and add me on Skype. My Skype ID is ChanmanV. I'm kind of looking. Sorry, I'm scrolling up, kind of looking through these, see if there's any more. Okay, here's a question about maps. Excuse me. So what kind of he says that people all agree that the Heart of the Swarm maps suck. All right. So what kind of aspects should be in a good Heart of the Swarm map, in your opinion? Maybe it's the same as Wings of Liberty, right? I mean, is it? Like,
Kinda.
and the
I mean, there's a
attributes?
few things that change where it's like you need to make it to where, especially with the way the Tempest works, that it can't just sit behind your natural and shoot you forever, because you actually can't hit it. Just like it's just sitting there. Like, well, I guess I'm not mining from my own natural base because they rushed a Tempest right off the bat or something.
Yeah, or you had to rush Spire just to
Yeah.
deal with it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a few things that change it, but it's very minor, I would say. I think it's
Okay.
pretty much almost like HoTs. It's just now they can incorporate lots of new things that in Heart of the Swarm, like a lot of the rocks type stuff, which is I think is kind of cool. Like some of the maps have rocks that you can break to be kind of trapped in your natural, so it could create like a new strategy or something from that, right? Where you could do this super greedy build because you have to wait for your opponent to break rocks to even get into your natural or something.
Yeah. What do you think, Doug?
Maps, generally, Blizzard really hasn't learned how to make like good maps for some reason. If they just took it from the community, I think they could be a lot better.
What do you
As
think
I've
makes
heard
a
it-
good map?
It gives good attacking potential, but at the same time, it doesn't really reach a point where it's just like, oh, well, I can't take any more expansions because all the rest of my expansions are like badly placed. Which is the biggest problem with Blizzard maps is at some point, whether it be like the third or your fourth, Blizzard just makes some expansion account number, whichever it may be, just like impossible to take. Like a good example would be like, I don't know, I released Desert Oasis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that the name of it? Where like
Yeah.
you take two bases and then all the other like expansions
That's it.
are just like really bad.
You mean the
Unless
rock
you
by
want
the
to take
third
like,
is
the island.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's just like, well, I'm on two bases now. I'm done. You know.
Oh, Desert Oasis, the good old days. But so, what do you know? One thing I never asked, I got a chance to ask you players is, what do you think of maps that have, I guess, environmental type of effect on the game? Meaning, like, something that would be just, I guess, a very exaggerated form of it would be like that lava map where the lava just like fills all the, like. I think it's in the single player, right, where the lava just kind of just appears like every 5 minutes, and it just you have to be at a base basically.
High
Obviously,
ground.
yeah, high ground. That's what it's called. Obviously, that's a very exaggerated form of it. But what do you think of maps like that, where you have these times where the environment actually plays a role, and it actually affects the game in that way?
I don't really think I would mind it that much. I mean, it would just change the game, the way the game's played. Like, it couldn't be on like every map and everything. Like, uh-oh, I better go back to my base or everything's gonna freaking blow up in the next 10 seconds, outside of this little
Nukes
safe
everywhere.
zone or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know. It's
You think
it's
it would add
something that
any
I'd
dynamics?
have to experiment on it and like try it out to see how it would actually affect.
I feel like it's definitely something to try. I mean, even if it doesn't work for the competitive scene, casual players will definitely have a lot of fun with that. Just being like, "Oh crap, all my units died in the lava."
Can you imagine? Oh man, somebody just fungals a bunch of guys right before
Right.
the lava shows up.
Or like you force field them out. And
Exactly.
just, like
Oh,
pick it
man.
up in a warp prism.
Those would be some clutch moments or some classic moments. But yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Actually, you guys have to excuse me. I actually have lab to get to in about
No
10
problem.
minutes. So
No problem.
I'm sorry I have to cut this short, but
No
this
problem.
is
It's a
some
pleasure
important
having you
classes
on,
there.
buddy. No, I appreciate you
Yeah.
coming on, and hope everybody got all you guys watching. Follow Quantic Hawk on Twitter at Quantic Hawk, and
Yep.
watch his stream. He's an
Yeah,
amazing Zerg player. So go ahead. You have
thank
any
you.
show?
Yeah, I'll show you like lots of cool stuff. I do a lot of cool builds that I'm sure Jacob is just as creative. But I'm sure you've seen like tons of just like incredibly stale Zerg play with just Infestor or Broodlord. But breaking the mold is where it's at.
Exactly.
All right, I gotta go, guys. Sorry
All right.
for cutting it short.
See you, Devin.
Hey, man,
Thanks, buddy.
Take it easy.
Follow me on Twitter. Thanks.
All right, later. Okay, so I'm gonna fix this too, but yeah, big thanks to Quantic Hawk for coming on, and he's been doing so awesome in tournaments recently. So, watch this guy, watch the stream, and he does a good job of commentary too on his stream. So check him out. But I think we might have one more. Let's do one more question, and then we'll go to the giveaway.
Alrighty.
All right, let's see what question we got. Anybody? Nobody wants to call in today? Come on, guys. Oh, actually, we do have a call in. Hold on. I'm trying to fix this real quick. And it's been a while since I had you on, bud.
It has been.
It's been great, man.
Quite a while.
I know. I don't know why. Shoot, I should get you on. Israel, right? Yeah. Israel Gonzalez, waiting for you to answer, buddy. Answer. Israel, you there? Hello?
Yeah, does the mic work?
Yeah, the mic works.
Hear
Yeah,
you
you might
loud
want to
and clear.
turn down your stream volume.
Yeah, I turned it on.
Okay, cool. You got a question for us?
Yeah, I was wondering if you guys were thinking about bringing Brood War units into SE2 or like maps and stuff.
They've kind of been in SC2 for a long time now. Like, you can play like a Brood War version in StarCraft 2 already. But if you mean like the competitive, like bring in like
Yeah, like instead of replacing the Warhound with the
Goliath?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've suggested that to Blizzard 100 times, and even if that's a great idea, Blizzard's never going to go with it because they're trying to sell a new game, so they don't want old units. So it's like that's the reason you see mines like the Widow Mine, which is they were trying to make it like kind of take the role of like a Widow Mine.
So
Okay.
What? I'm so confused.
Somebody in the background there.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So yeah, that's pretty much the answer to that. They want a new game, so they're going to try to incorporate new units that do new stuff, even though some maybe of the old units would fill a great role that is missing in the game.
All right, buddy. Thanks for the question.
All right, thanks.
All right, thanks. Okay, let's do the giveaway. And again, guys, the way you entered the giveaway, or the folks that entered the giveaway, they either followed me on Twitter, subscribed to me on YouTube, or liked me on Facebook, or they tweeted me a guest that they'd like to see in the coming weeks. But how about we do something? Actually, how about we do something with one of the keys? How about whoever hasn't followed LZGaMeR right now, follow LZGaMeR, and then we'll have somebody randomly select from, or we'll have LZ select the last beta key randomly from all you folks that follow him. So follow him right now. One of the beta keys will go to somebody that's following LZGaMeR, a new follower, right? Okay, so I'm going to give away 4 right now. So let me actually pull up this. I'm going to pull up my spreadsheet here with all my my keys. So I've got a bunch of keys now. Big thanks to Blizzard for giving me all these keys to give away to you guys. And I'll be giving away, you know, I guess a different cluster every week. So this week it was just 5. I might give away more next week. And then I'm going to give all my subscribers a key that don't have one yet either. So that's, you know, incentive to subscribe, guys, not only just to support the show. Okay, so going to, where are my keys? Okay.
Wow.
All right.
A lot of people have followed. That's fast.
All right. See, that's what I like. That's why there lots of people want keys, man. Lots of people.
Should I pick one of these?
Yeah. Okay. Why don't you go first? Well, yeah. Why don't you go first? Pick one of these randomly.
All right. Let's do the last person that followed. How about that?
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. So Adam Keaton, Keaton. Let's see what his ed is. Yeah, I'll type it to you.
Yeah, type it to me. First winner of a HoTs key is Adam Keaton. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I typed it to you. It's
okay,
at
so
that.
Adam Keat. All right, so I'm putting you down in my spreadsheet right now, Adam. So, but try to message me in Twitter, and I will. Actually, don't message me in Twitter. Message me in TL or Twitch, and I'll. That's probably the best way, because Twitter, then you know, direct messaging and all that stuff. You have to kind of follow each other. Okay, so Adam is the first winner of a Heart of the Swarm beta key, and okay, I'm going to choose 4 more here. Okay, let me just roll this wheel around, and then the first person in the middle of my screen is actually okay. We got Ricky Schroeder. Ricky Schroeder, isn't that like a name of a character? Silver Spoons, you gotta be kidding me! Silver Spoons 09, that's awesome. All right, Ricky Schroeder, you are a winner of a HoTs beta key. Okay, I'm gonna roll it here. Okay, I'm gonna stop here. Okay, we got SC2. What is it? SC2 SC2 UBS. Another winner, SC2 UBS. Let me go here. Let's see. Did I go too far? Shoot. I think I might have gone too far. Okay, the next winner is Glenn Reagan. So it's at Pray to Your Savior. Pray to Your Savior. Here we go. Pray to Savior. Make sure I have that right. It's not spelt the way you think it would be spelled. Pray to Your Savior. Okay. All right, so that's 4 Heart of the Swarm beta keys, and then I got 1 more to give away tonight. Right, I'm gonna actually look through some of these. Let's see. All right, and the last one goes to.
The suspense.
The last one goes to. Let me see what the chat looks like. Anybody happy in the chat yet? I haven't even been able to look. Okay, last person goes to Victor Eklund at TN Foxer. At TN Foxer. Congratulations to all you guys. Let me see if I can just cut and paste this into a chat here. If it's going to work. Here goes. Here are all the winners. And again, I will be sending these to you guys. I'll probably tweet them. Well, shit. How am I going to do it? Well, all of you guys, why don't you add me on Twitter, and then I'll add you guys back. Or I'll follow you guys back. And then I will direct message you the beta keys, and you guys can have fun playing Heart of the Swarm with us, and then you'll know what we'll be talking about on future Pro Corners here.
First-hand experience, they'll know the frustration that we're talking about.
Exactly. No buying keys, guys. I'm not allowed to sell keys, so none of those offers. None of those offers. But you can subscribe to my my channel though, and you can get a lot of good stuff, including a key. So. I just had some new Climbing the Ladder shirts made too, guys. So those are for subscribers too.
That's awesome.
All right, Jake. Well, it's a pleasure having you on, buddy.
Pleasure,
and,
as always, ChanmanV.
EG.LzGaMeR. I mean, he's one of the, again, he's one of the most creative Zergs that we have here in NA, and obviously very articulate too. So it's not it's not easy to come by when it comes to players. So when I switch over to Heart of the Swarm, I'm gonna be looking to have you on some more too, bud.
Be sure to do that. I'll gladly come back.
Awesome, awesome. So you want to do some shout-outs?
Yeah, of course, shout out to my team, Evil Geniuses. Shout out to all my sponsors. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting and tuning into this show. It is awesome. Thank you for being a great part of this community. I'm reading this chat, and it's like the best part of the community right now, by the way.
Exactly. My stream chat is seriously the best. I mean,
seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
we'll leave it at that.
trollers.
They're the best.
Yes, exactly.
Like,
The best.
there's no and. It's just they're the best.
Yes.
Period. And everybody follow me on Twitter at EG.LzGaMeR. Chanman's already plugged me enough. I don't have to do any more of that, really. And I will be streaming in about an hour. I'm going to grab some lunch, and then I'm coming back, and I'll probably stream for 3 or 4 hours of Heart of the Swarm. So thank you guys for watching and tuning in.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd also like to thank all you viewers too. Just kind of, agree with the sentiments that you guys, my stream chat, I've already said that you guys are the best, but there's very few trollers, and today I didn't have any mods, right? So it's just you actually seeing this chat is pretty much filterless. So it's pretty great, and hopefully you guys will continue supporting the show. And hopefully, I'm not sure if you guys checked out the dress rehearsal we had last night. Actually, Jake, I don't even know if you know about it, but I'm doing a new show. I'm so proud that I came up with a great name last night too, because I was struggling trying to come up with a show. But it's a show where I have Bryce, EG Machine, and in Tempo.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I turned on Machine's stream last night when you were saying I need to start a show like this.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, last night was just a. Oh, you mean previously, whenever we were doing the Pro Corner with Machine and Tempo?
No, it was last night.
Okay, it was last night. Yeah, so
but
it was
continue,
a dress
tell
rehearsal.
the viewers about what it's like.
Yeah, so it's a dress rehearsal. Well, last night was a dress rehearsal, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna have myself, EG Machine, Living Pink, and Tempo on, or Infinity 7's Tempo. Sorry, he got picked up. We're gonna be on. We're gonna be playing games, and primarily games from the arcade, because we really wanted to. Kind of promote the arcade, the StarCraft 2 arcade, and there's a lot of great games there, and even a bunch of games I don't even know about. So we kind of wanted to do that to kind of help StarCraft 2 and just kind of have some fun at the same time. And we came up with a name. I came up with this great name. It's going to be called Wednesday Night Sprites. And we're going to be rating like all the games, and instead of a star system, we'll use a sprite system, all that good stuff. Tempo's going to come up with an intro song, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. We'll have some guests. Like last night, again, it was just kind of a dress rehearsal, just kind of us just
That's really awesome.
messing around, and we had Matt Fink, look no hands on to play with us. So we'll have guests on too, and Audrey will be on from time to time too. Pandy StarCraft, those Liquid Rets. Significant other, if you guys don't know Audrey, but so we're gonna be doing that like every Wednesday night, 10:30 Eastern, and it would just be a fun way for you guys to come and watch us play, and we'll start off with the arcade for sure, and if for some reason we run out of games, I can't imagine it, we'll switch over to some of the more well-known games, I guess, but yeah, so come check it out. We'll try to start it up. I think the pilot's gonna be, or the first episode will be Wednesday, but. Given it's Thanksgiving, it's going to be. We'll see. We'll see if we do it, but for sure that following week. But just want to go ahead and announce it here. But big thanks to Razer for sponsoring my show, or for sponsoring Pro Corner, of course, and lots of big names coming up in the near future, like in the coming months. The likes of like Leenock and TLO and Baby Knight, Snoot, all those good guys. So they'll be on here soon. So be ready for some good strategies. But that's going to be it for Climbing the Ladder for this week. We'll see you next Thursday. Peace.